Hello there everybody and welcome back to another video. Now this week's video is going to be a little bit of a project type video. I've been thinking of, trying this video idea out for a while, and I think a couple of months ago, probably like many months ago, a couple people were actually wanting me to actually do a video like this. And what we're going to be doing today is seeing how well that the PowerMac G5 here handles video editing. And I just, basically really wanted to see how this machine handles, like actually editing one of my videos. I'm going to actually try to edit this video that I am recording right now on this PowerMac G5, or, at least part of it, to see how that it handles it. And yeah, this is just going to be, I've done a couple of videos on these PowerMac G5 computers. I've done one where I actually tried to install Linux on a G5, and that was this PowerMac G5 right here. I also have a whole nother G5 that I got at a thrift store for $2.50, and I did a whole video, or actually a couple of videos on that machine. So what I've done with this machine here is I have put macOS 10.5 back on it, as you can see here. And today we're going to be installing a very old version of Final Cut Express. I think this is version 1.01 or something. It says on the box somewhere, but I do have this in the original box, as you can see here, with, it's going to go over all of its features and stuff. And we're going to be, basically trying this out and see, if it can really handle video. I mean, this is a super old version of Final Cut Express. This, I think the copyright date is 2003. This was designed for macOS 10.2. So it's a super old version. I'm not even sure if it's going to actually be able to run on this computer, because this is version 10.5, so I might have to install an older version of macOS 10 on this machine. But this, as you can see, cost $300 when it came out, $299. So this was a very expensive piece of software when it came out. This was pretty much meant for the prosumer market. It's not going to have all of your major advanced video editing features. That's why it's called Final Cut Express, as opposed to Final Cut Pro, although it does have a lot of pretty cool editing features. So we're going to be trying this out, and I'm going to be basically opening up this software. I guess we can do it live on camera right here, and we're going to be actually installing it on this PowerMac G5 right here. So let's just open up the box here. You can do it from the top. And I believe I got this at a garage sale many years ago, and I think I paid $5 for it or something. So I have not ever actually used this. It does have the CD in here with all the serials. Let me just pull that out and cover the serials. So yeah, there it is, Final Cut Express. This is the I think this is a DVD. I'll just take it out of here, and let me just show you right there. On the bottom right there, you can see it says version 1.0.1, copyright 2001 to 2003. The other PowerMac G5 that I have, which is the one that I got at that thrift store, I think came out in 2003. This one I think is from 2005, maybe 2004. So I'm just honestly, kind of interested to see if this super old version of Final Cut Express even runs on macOS 10.5 Leopard here. Even though that macOS 10.5 Leopard is, pretty old, this is an operating system that was last updated in 2009. But there were definitely newer versions of Final Cut Express and Final Cut Pro out at the time. I'll get out all of these. Man, actually, there's one of these. This is an actual getting started guide from Digital Film Tree that was in the box, so that's kind of interesting. We've also got frequently asked questions about Final Cut Express, and I'm probably going to go through this if something actually doesn't work. This was back when Apple was called Apple Computer Incorporated as opposed to just Apple Inc. They changed that in 2007. We've got a registration card right here. Register Final Cut Express and you'll get a warm glow. This has never been registered. It takes just 5 minutes. I'm sure that you can't really register this anymore, but it would be interesting to see if you could. We've got a Apple Care, or just Apple Professional Software Service and Support. And we have the Apple Professional Video Support line. This is what I was talking about. There's Final Cut Pro 3 right there. That is the full version of Final Cut Pro with all of the Pro features. We've got DVD Studio Pro and a super old version of QuickTime there. So there's actually a, I guess this is a card with, yeah, there's a phone number on it that you can call if you ever, needed help or anything. And we've got an installation guide right here. So we're just going to, the G5 went to sleep here. I'm going to be, just going to get all these papers back together. We're going to be putting this into the, or putting the CD into the G5. Let me just, got so much stuff around here now. So we're going to, let me get the CD out. I'm going to eject the DVD, the Mac OS X DVD from the drive. Let me just move this camera back up here so you can see it a little bit better. And because the PowerMac G5 and most other Apple computers don't have a DVD eject button, which is so annoying, we have to go and just get rid of all this. We gotta do it like this, which isn't that big of a deal, but when I need, like, when I was trying to actually get this DVD into it, from the version of Linux that I was using, there was no option to eject the DVD drive, from within the software, so I had to manually do it, which is very annoying. Yeah, so I just read the DVD again. The door on this is like, the mechanism is kind of broken, so you have to kind of hold the door down while you eject it for the actual tray to come out. I know you guys can't really see this, but it's just not supposed to, or it's not supposed to work this way. It's not working the way it should. I'm gonna pull this out here. I'm gonna walk over and grab the Final Cut Express version 1.01 CD right there, and we're going to, I am tethered to my computer with the microphone that I'm using, so this isn't really the most easiest thing I'm trying to do. So we'll put that in there. So the DVD is in the drive. I don't think it's, oh, there it is. Okay. I'm going to be really surprised if this works. I have a feeling I'm going to have to install like a super old version of OS X. Install Final Cut Express. It's launching. There we go. Final Cut Express installer. We're going to continue. We're going to accept the license terms. And these are the system, or these are actually on the box too, but these are the system requirements right here. So we need a Power Macintosh G3 300 megahertz or faster processor with built-in FireWire. Oh, these are like all of the actual models that it supports. So obviously, I don't think the PowerMac G4 isn't even listed on here. So we need 256 megs of RAM, a 6 gigabyte hard drive, which we have all that obviously. Here is the options, I guess. Boris calligraphy, I guess, is like some sort of typing kit, and we'll just get all this. Why not? I mean, we have enough space on this. Wait, 4 gigs. What? That does not sound right. This is this a 4? I don't think this is a 4 gigabyte hard drive. Yeah, it's 220. What is it talking about? 4 gigs available. Well, okay, that's kind of odd. Whatever, we'll just install that. Let's get it there so you can see a little better. So yeah, it is working. That is pretty nice. Installation was successful. We're gonna click on quit to quit the installer. And yeah, let me show you what specifications this computer has. So we have a dual-core 2 gigahertz PowerPC G5 with 12 gigabytes of DDR2 RAM. I don't think this one has 2 physical processors. It has just one processor with 2 cores. I think the other one I have might have 2 physical processors in it. So we'll go ahead and zoom out here. Although I think this is the higher end model. This has like a lot more RAM, and it has the a faster dual core processor than the other one that I have. So we're going to go in here, go to applications, and launch Final Cut Express. And okay, so it is working. It's going to ask us to register, so I'm going to grab the keyboard off the floor here and put all that information in. Alright, so it has been registered. It is showing up here. So we're going to want to set up, I don't even think are you even able to set up for like HD footage? I don't even think this might not even support let me zoom in here and show you what we're looking at here. So it's asking us what format we want to set up for. So we've got DV. Yeah, these are all going to be DV. So this is going to be, I don't even know, because I'm going to put 1080p video. I don't even know if it'll accept 1080p video to edit. So we're going to do DV NTSC, which is what is used here in the US, and G5 HDD is the only hard drive. So Unable to locate the external video device, Apple Firewire, NTSC. Your system configuration must have changed, or your desk camera may be disconnected. I don't have a camera. That is actually, we'll just click continue. I don't think that really does anything. Alright, so here we are in the, the actual program here, Final Cut Express. We'll go to About, and yeah, Final Cut Express version 1.01. So this is going to be interesting to see, if this actually works, with, like the footage that I'm going to put into it. I have my doubts. I don't think it's going to, like really want to accept 1080p footage, as it wasn't really designed to do that. But we've got, our multiple video and audio tracks down here, as you may be able to see in the video. We've got, all of your options up here. So I guess what I'm going to do is figure out how to get this SD card from this camera plugged into this computer. And depending on it, because I kind of just realized this, if I can't edit HD footage on this, then I'm probably not going to edit this, to be, or like to use this software to edit the whole video, but I might just edit, like a small portion of it, or just maybe like have some footage, like just edit with this, and I'll put that into the final video. So, yeah, I will be right back. Alright, so I have copied over a sample video that I have created on this camera over to this USB stick right here, and I'm going to be plugging it into the G5. We're going to be seeing how Final Cut Express handles it, and so the kind of like About thing opened up. I don't want to go into that, so we're going to, I wonder if, I don't even think I have a free USB port on here, or no, yeah I do. Okay, here's one right here. We're going to plug it in there. It should, just like basically recognize everything just fine. So we're going to go in Untitled here. We've got our MP4. We're going to copy this, so Command C. We'll just copy it to the desktop here, and we'll, let it do all that. It is 216 megabytes. It is a 1080p 30 FPS video, like, most of my videos that are done in this style here. So I'm just going to let it do that. So we've got our video. You can just play it right here. And you can hear it off of the internal speaker on the G5. It's kind of having a little bit of trouble playing it. It looks a little bit laggy in this preview here. You see how, yeah, you can kind of see it's having a little bit of an issue playing that. So what I'm going to do is open up System Profiler, or not System Profiler, Activity Monitor, and we're going to see how, I don't want to go there, I want to go to, going to open up Activity Monitor, and we're going to see how much of the CPU and how much of the memory that Final Cut Express is using. So here is our little graph down here. We are currently using, what does it say? Where does it say like the overall usage? I guess that, well, that's 5. Well, there's, okay, so there's like 1% for the user, 1% for the system. So, we're not using that much CPU. It's probably averaging like around, like maybe 6 to 8%. It, on it, like obviously keeps changing there. So, system memory, we have 12 gigabytes obviously, and we only have 10.97 gigs free. So the other is being used up, and so yeah, we're just going to have this up. I assume that this CPU graph is going to pretty much spike up as we go into the editing with this. So we're going to open up Final Cut Express. I guess we can just drag the file in here, so we'll see how this works. I probably should unplug the USB stick from there. And yeah, it's going to yell at me because I didn't do it properly, but whatever. We're going to go into, we want the desktop here. We got our video clip. Can we just drag it in here? Unknown file. Okay, can we go like, how do we import? Import, here we go. Import files. So is it going to recognize an MP4 file? I don't think it will. Oh, video files. Okay, there we go. So open. Unknown file. Maybe it's not going to work with MP4. We might have to convert this to, like some other file type. I don't know what does it say on the box here. What I am at a very odd setup here. Like everything's about to fall off. But let me I mean, does it say what like what files, like file formats it supports? Yeah, we might have to convert this to an MOV. So that's not anything to blame on the actual computer. It's just that this editing suite is so old. All right, so we are back. I did actually convert the file, the MP4 file here, over to an AVI file. So I'm going to be seeing if that works at all with this version of Final Cut Express, or if it's just not going to open the file at all. So I've got the zip drive right here with the converted AVI. We're going to copy this over to the desktop. This is a much larger file. It is a little over a gigabyte, whereas the other one was like 200 megabytes, because obviously the .mp4 is a lot more compressed than an AVI is. So we're just going to let this copy over here, and hopefully this should work. And I'm kind of interested to see, I was reading online and I read that some versions of Final Cut Express have limited support for 1080p video, but I'm not sure if that's in the first version here. There's not really, it says anything on the box, which I'm kind of looking at now to see if it says really anything about it, you know, or like, well, what video formats it supports. I guess we could actually consult the manual. Let me pull this back out here. I know I'm doing this all off camera, but I just want to see if let's get the manual out here, and we'll see. It's not really that much of a manual, but installing the software and using the documentation. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything about like file formats in here, but the AVI copied over, so we're gonna see if we want to, you know, be on the desktop here. We're gonna see if we can. I'm just gonna do it from the open menu in here. So we're gonna do File, Import, and it's grayed out file. We got to be on here. There we go. File, Import Files. We're going to go to all files. We're going to get the AVI. We're going to open that up. And there it is. The AVI has imported right up here. You may be able to see it. So we're going to drag that down onto our timeline here. And let me get Activity Monitor open. Let me just play it first. So the audio is playing, but it says unrendered. One or more frames were dropped during playback. If this occurs, try lowering your compression data rate, closing open sequences, lowering the preference for real-time audio tasks, increasing the speed of your system and or disk drives and our network connection. So frames are dropping, and that's kind of to be expected, because I don't really think this computer is really equipped to handle 1080p, full 1080p video, because it was even lagging when I was like trying to preview the video. And just for, well, let's just see if it can actually play the video like just by itself. So we'll open the AVI in QuickTime here, and okay, so it needs additional software. It's gonna go on to apple.com here, and the page can't be found. Okay, so let's see. Well, it can open the MP4 file, so let's see if it can even play the MP4 without it lagging. So we'll make it, you know, well, maybe not. Can we make it like it like has it in this huge window that I don't want it in this big of a window. Can we like file, maybe view, fit to screen? There we go. Okay, so we're gonna play this, and yeah, you can see with the mouse cursor there. I'm not really sure if you can see that well, but it's kind of having a little trouble just actually playing the video back. We'll skip into where like I start to open some folders and stuff. So you see I'm opening Final Cut Express. You see when you can actually see like some trails behind the mouse cursor, but that's just because it's, you know, kind of lagging. But I'm not sure what that like what actual frame rate that is playing back in, but I assume it's just, you know, like just basically fluctuating up and down. But it is playing. I'm not really sure if you can hear the audio very well. I'm not sure if my microphone's picking that up, but it plays the, you know, all the audio perfectly fine. It's just the video it has a little bit of trouble with. So we'll go back here, and you know, it'll play. Like when I click on play here, it'll like start to play the audio. I don't know if you can hear that, and then it just, yeah, it just stops. So let me do that again, and I want to see how much that activity monitor. So I'm just going to switch to activity monitor here, and yeah, you can see that. Oh, it's not even playing it right now, but you can see that spike right there was from when it played it. But let's just see if like we can even render this. I mean, I don't have to do like really any editing this video. It was just basically, you know, like a whole one take thing where I just went through and just did a bunch of random stuff. So print to video, or no, we don't want to do that. We want to like export. Like how do you export? Window, sequence, render all. It's not been saved. Can we not? How do you render the video file? Export Final Cut Movie. So I'm curious what it's going to like have the default let the default video file. So we'll save it. Codec not found. You may be using a compression type without the corresponding hardware card. Export. Let's try QuickTime. Let's see if it'll export it as an MOV. So we'll use default settings, QuickTime movie options. Does it say? Yeah, dimensions 338 by 253. Can you change that? Oh, okay, so we can go up to, let's go to 1920 by 1080, 16 by 9. This is probably going to take a very long time to render, but yeah, 1920 by 1080, okay. Key frame rate is 24, which it should not be. Can we change that? Settings, okay, H.264. We want to do it every 30 frames. Can we change that? I have a feeling this is going to take a while to render. Frame rate, can we just change it to, yeah, okay, let's just have an overall 30 FPS. Best quality multi-pass, okay. I don't know if it's just going to come out with this unrendered thing or if it's going to actually render the video. But, alright, save. Let's see what happens. Estimated time about a minute. It was less than a minute. Now it's going up 2 minutes. It's at 8%. Yeah, it is taking, a little bit. I'm not sure if it's actually going to like actually render this file, or if it's just gonna like just like render a screen that says unrendered here. But let me go to activity monitor, and we can see that CPU is maxed out right there. It is obviously using all of pretty much all the CPU for Final Cut Express here, and same for the memory. Final Cut Express is using the majority of the memory. If we go to system memory, you can see that we're actually only using because this is like an older like 32-bit application, so it's not really able to utilize all the RAM that we have here. But you see, yeah, we have 10 gigs free. We're only using like 800 megabytes. Is that right? Yeah, I guess it says 393 megabytes is all it's using. Although it is using almost 2 gigs of virtual memory. So we'll minimize this. I'm just going to basically let this render and see if it works. And if it does work, I'm going to come back, or even if it doesn't work, I'm going to come back and try to add like some video effects maybe, to see if we can add those and to see if it'll actually export. So I'm just gonna let that finish up, and I will be right back. Alright, so we are back, and I just tried to play the sequence 1 MOV here. The camera likes to go a little bit out of focus because it's just a big black screen, but when I go to, let's see, edit, view, fit to screen, it'll play the audio, but the video just is a big black screen that's just doing nothing. So yeah, it did render, I mean, I guess you could say, but it doesn't really work the way that I wanted it to. So I mean, maybe we can try to turn the resolution down. I mean, I think that's what it is that the resolution is just too high for it to really handle. But I'm trying to figure out how we can we maybe open an editor. Well, it's opened in QuickTime. Can we I wonder if we can change properties. Let's just do this. File, new project. New, not open. I want new sequence. That's what we want. And this should give us. Okay, what gives you the option to set the project frame rate? Bin? No. Sequence 1. I want to change like the sequence option, like the sequence frame rate to be like, I don't know, 640 by 480 or something. Sorry for my chair there, but I'm trying to figure this out. I have no idea like what we should do here. Well, okay, let's do this. I'm just gonna re-import this file here. So converted.avi, drag this onto here. So what I'm gonna do this time is just, I've got the converted AVI. We're gonna go to File, Export. We're gonna go to QuickTime, and I just want to do it at a very low. We'll change this to sequence 1, sequence 11, because the keyboard's on the floor and I don't feel like picking it up. So we want options. We want to go to video settings. We want it to be, we'll just do it, I don't know, current. We'll just do automatic just to see what it does. And we're going to go to compression type. H.264 should be fine. Okay, every 24 frames. And then we're going to go to size, and we'll change it to like 640 by 480 VGA, just to make it, you know, just a lot easier to render. So we've got that. We got the sound. The sound's fine. We'll save that, and we'll see how well this this renders. So during like the whole rendering, as I said before, it is using, you know, a lot of the CPU resources, you know, which is to be expected. I mean, every computer pretty much does that. So I'm gonna let this one render. We're gonna see if it works. I mean, honestly, like, should you do this? No. I mean, there's no like really any practical reason to like actually video edit anything on a PowerMac G5 with this old version of Final Cut Express. It doesn't really make any sense. If you really wanted to do like any sort of video editing on this such of an old machine, I would highly recommend just installing Linux on it and using like an open source editor. That's going to be much better than this super old version of Final Cut Express. But what's the fun in that? So that's basically what I'm trying to do, is just to do something that you should never do, and that is probably not even going to render this 480p video fine. But we're going to see what happens, as I said. So I'm just going to pause the video here, and I will come right back once it is finished. Alrighty, so we are back once again. I have rendered this video in like what did I do, 640 by 480, I think. So let's see if it works. I mean, I don't know if it's going to, but let's go to sequence 11. The like preview screen is black, so that's not a good sign. Yep, it's doing the same thing. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Okay, so it didn't even render. I don't know what it is. Like, I think it has something to do with the program. Can't really recognize this video, because it just shows like this blank screen up here for the preview. So I don't know what it is, but honestly, this this like video recording has gone on for like almost an hour now. I'm, you know, obviously gonna have to do, you know, a lot of editing to it to, you know, kind of condense it down into a more viewable form. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for this video. So, can the PowerMac G5 handle video editing? Well, as I said before, it probably could if you both install Linux on this and use a more up-to-date editing software. This was the only one that I had, like basically on hand to actually use, and you could probably render video and edit video on this G5 with OS X Leopard if you just got a more updated version of Final Cut Express or Final Cut Pro. But yeah, as I said, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this fun little project video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, definitely sure to give this video a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this in the near future. As always, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.